Fender.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Angel Diaz.
Welcome to the Extra Scoop.
I know you guys are probably surprised. Usually, you hear Jeff Doss's voice, and he usually is going through his whole little shebang. But today, I decided to step in, decided to return one more time with my ex teammate, my old teammate, one of my favorite teammates, just to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah. How you been doing?
I've been doing good, man. Healing, just trying to recover from that injury. But besides that, just relaxing, honestly. Missing the tournaments, I'll tell you that, man. Watching from home, I have FOMO. I want to be out there so badly. So, which Peyton,
Yeah.
also I gotta tell you something. I gotta tell you two things. Now that I actually get to say this to you, like not in person, but like face to face somewhat. First thing is that tattoo, that Fender tattoo, I can
Oh.
never get over it. Every time you post that Fender tattoo, it is so dope to me. I always have
Thank
to like
you.
stop the story and just like I just like to look at all the detail. I thought that is like so creative. So I always
Thank
love that
you.
tattoo. And the other thing is, girl, you are killing it. You are killing it in the gym. You're getting after it. I just want you to know you were my motivation on Monday. I'm not even joking when I say this. Monday I had off from school, I had off from work, so I was like perfect. So I woke up. I think I woke up at like my normal time, went back to sleep. I woke up again. I didn't wake up too late, but then I look at my phone and I saw you posted you at the gym, and it was like 10 minutes ago. And I looked and I was like, all right, she got after it today. So I literally was like, no, I guess I'm gonna go get after it today. I put on my stuff and just went right up to the gym. But I just want to tell you, like, your consistency, keep it up, girl. You're killing it right now.
I'm trying. I really am. Especially since we're on the topic of, you know, getting after it and, going for it. Why don't we start with the first topic, the AKA?
All right, got you. Let's rock and roll.
Because this has been, I got injured last year. So coming back from that at Pan Am's, I was a little, obviously things are off whenever you get injured. So it was kind of difficult coming back into it. But I ended up winning my division at Pan Am's. So I had a really good feeling going into the year. And at Warrior Cup, there were 16 women fighters, which is a really good number for us because, we only average normally like 10, maybe a little more. And I ended up placing second out of the 16. So like I was super proud of myself
No, that's
because
awesome.
that is so hard to do.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you know what? It's 16.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's one thing I'll say also? It's 16 women and it's quality over quantity, right?
Oh,
So it's like
100%.
it's 16 women and it doesn't matter who you draw first. It's like it's an uphill battle no matter what. There's no one can sit there and say in any fight they have in the women's division that it's like a get me over fight or you think you have it in the bag. Like you
Oh
never
yeah.
know what's going on. So that's one thing I will say, man. Like the quality right now is so rich, it's crazy. It's
Because you
crazy.
got first of all, you got the Revolution ladies. You got Jimena, me, Brianna. Then you
Yep.
got the G4 straight up girls, Yana and Karina. You got
Yep.
Katie. You got Alexi. You
Yep.
got like
Savannah
there was so
Wozniak.
many.
You got
Savannah,
you got Mina. You got Avery Sutter.
Mina,
You got Lynn.
yes.
You got Linda Groot.
Lynn,
You got
yep.
everybody. You got Jaden, Brianna, Keely. I feel like now I'm missing now that I started saying so
I
much. I don't
know.
want to miss nobody.
Just all the women in
Brendo.
general, all the women in
Yeah.
general, they're all quality, and you're not gonna come in front of someone where you're like, oh, I got
No.
this.
And you know what I
Like,
love right now about the women's division, and this is like I mean this, man, is I love that we're starting to see like a lot of specialists, meaning like we're starting to see people that they truly are great kickers and they're able to win fights with legs to a point that it's like it's amazing to watch them how they're able to set up their whole fight off their leg. I
oh
see
yeah,
a lot of people. I'm starting to see people now like they're great counter fighters and like the way they just bait people in. You see people that are good offensive, good punchers. Like you're starting to see a lot of specialists, and not in a bad way, in a good way, that they found their strength and they're fighting to their strengths. And I think that's something that no matter like what year it is, what era, anything, everyone always says like you got to fight your strength, you got to be who you are, and you're just starting to see a lot of people fight that way. So I think it's starting to get really interesting and like I said, man, the women's division is just you can't. It's sometimes it's hard to pick who's gonna come out of it because it's
Because
just so
you
deep.
never know.
It's
Some
so deep.
days somebody's so on that it's just clicking and everything is
It's so
going,
deep.
and then there's other days where nothing is clicking and the person you thought was gonna win didn't win. So
Yeah, it's crazy. So I think that's an interesting thing. So I will say that definitely.
yeah, a couple more things to address. Couple of my students slash in school teammates got on teams this weekend. Congratulations to Jaden and Dante.
Yes, I saw
Jaden
they got
joined
on
the
there.
Revolution crew, and Dante
Awesome.
joined Competitive Edge. So super
Strong
proud of those
squads.
two.
Strong
Definitely.
squads. Strong squads, definitely, man.
Yeah. Hi, Amanda.
Amanda! Beast! That's beast right there. That's beast. That's beast right there.
Always killing it.
Yeah. Hey, speaking on Amanda, man, I wanna now that we saw her pop up, I really wanna like take a minute to also give her some flowers, man. That girl is so consistent. I'm saying and we're saying consistency to a point that it's like she's doing it on both, whether it's open or traditional. And
Hmm.
she's able to win divisions. She's winning divisions consistently. She's starting to be a force on stage. Someone else that actually one of my favorite rivalries, and maybe it's just me that thinks it's a rivalry, but I just love seeing them go back and forth. Is it Savannah from your school?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Savannah Augusta.
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna tell you something. I love watching that girl compete. That I truly like. Anytime I see her go up, I actually stop and watch. And I always remember that. I've always remember when she pushes herself in her forms that she's done like tricks that I've heard her say like she's only practiced like this week or for 2 weeks, and she'll throw it right in the form.
Oh
And I
yeah.
love just seeing that because I'm like, man, she's pushing the boundary. Like, and then it starts getting the results. And I love seeing her and Amanda go back and forth. That's something I love to see.
Yeah, and they were really consistent last year with staging and just
Super
appearing on
consistent.
stage, period.
Hey,
They were at
listen,
like at least
I
one
give it to
division.
yeah, I give it to Savannah, man. Like she got on stage that first time, and it was like that girl caught like she was like, I love that feeling. I don't ever want to let it go. And it was like almost every tournament she was at, it was her and Amanda, almost every single one, if not every single one. So I give
Yeah,
Savannah a lot of credit, man. Like she puts in work. You could tell.
definitely. Definitely. So, funny topic. My dad brought up the fact that we always have Warrior Cup in January.
Hmm.
This is put out there to the world, all NASCAR people. Coming from a Floridian who lives in like 70-degree weather year round, it is way too cold in Chicago. We need to do some changes around there.
Hey, listen, hold on. First off, Pops, I miss you, man. How you doing, Pops? I know you watching this. God, I love you. I just want to make sure your dad, man. You know I love your dad. I love your dad to death, man. He's an awesome dude. Also, the other thing is, yeah, I heard people complain about this. This is my point of view, and I'm gonna be honest. This is my point of view. Is it cold? Yeah, absolutely. But them ticket prices, I'll take it. Let it be that cold, cause
Let it be that cold, but like
it's so cheap. I'll take it.
there was so many people that got stuck at the airport.
Well, see, okay, so I'll give you this. Yes, that's a problem. Like I heard some crazy stories. I heard like 11-hour layovers. The next
Exactly.
day,
I had
people got canceled.
Savannah, Dante, they didn't get back until today
Today,
because
today is Wednesday.
today, no, yesterday, my fault, yesterday. My fault.
Oh, I'm about to say,
They
God.
got back they got back yesterday, and then there was a couple of other like Florida sports people that got back at 2 in the morning when they were supposed to leave at like 6 p.m. from
Oh,
Chicago. Like,
I,
it's
I, I
just
get you. I get you. But man, when a plane ticket's that cheap, you gotta, there's not a lot of tournaments we go to that is it's feasible for you Floridians. It is because you guys have like 5 NASCAR tournaments in one state. So for you guys could just go anywhere. But like for everywhere else, we all gotta travel, and it is just super hard. So when I see
mhm.
that, I'm like, you know what? I'll go. Hey, let me ask you a question because we both competed. We both competed at both places. Do you like Schaumburg better, or you like Chi-Town, Chicago better?
Personally, I like the venue at Schaumburg better because it was bigger, like, the ceiling was higher, and there was just I
Yeah.
feel like it felt more spread
It
out.
was open space. It was like a wide open space.
Yeah, but when it's in,
Yeah.
like, the actual city, everything is within walking distance.
Okay.
for like the
So you know
most
what?
part.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say in terms of like the venue, I actually really like the venue that they had at Schaumburg. I thought that was actually pretty cool. And I just thought it was like a really nice venue. When it comes to the actual like going outside and like after you get done competing, you need stuff to go do. I
Yeah.
like I like the Chicago location because you had like everything was in walking distance. You can go get stuff. And I just really like that. I just think it was just a better. It's near more things. You get a nice view, all that good stuff. So I'll say that part. But yeah, I wanted to ask you that because we've both competed at both, and I don't know. I guess for me, I guess just Schaumburg. I've always liked Schaumburg. Just I think that was just because that was my first time I ever went there, so I was like, oh, this is cool. And then when we went the next year that it was in Chicago, I was like, I like it, but I was like, I don't know why. I just like Schaumburg better.
It was the venue for sure because that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
my first AKA was in Schaumburg.
Oh, so you and I both did the same.
So
Yeah.
and then the last 2 years was in the city. So I don't know. I like the city, but like at this venue, they always shove the fighters in the corner, and
Well, let's get into it since you want to segue it. Go ahead. You go ahead and segue.
no, we were like, so obviously you have all the forms, and you have the juniors that are fighting. But when it came
Hmm.
to open weight and like teams, it was in ring 28 and 26,
Yes, I saw that.
like in the corner. So I don't know. For me, I like watching fighting. I don't know about everyone else, but I like watching fighting. So I want to see it like on the stage or in like an open ring where everyone can
Oh,
watch.
so let me ask you. So because that was gonna be my thing, I was gonna ask you and like push back on it, right? You always hear people say the stage is unsafe to fight on stage, right?
Hmm.
So would you much rather have it been because they had 3 stages or 2 stages?
3.
They had 3. So would you have much rather seen it on a stage, or would you much rather have seen it even if it's on an open mat, but it's like 2 mats in the center of the whole venue, and
That
they
I'm
just
okay
do
with
that?
that
That
because
okay, okay.
some of those stages, whenever the kids were doing their forms, they just didn't sound stable. So
Well, I,
I'm
I
okay
think
with
that
that.
happened last year, right? That
Hmm.
happened in the creative division, like when they were doing extreme and creative. I think they
Yeah,
said the stage broke down.
it did.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I get you. Me personally, like I can't. I don't know if I really have like a preference, like stage or mat. I think like I've always liked the mat just because that's what we compete on most of the time. Um, my only thing with the stage is just like I don't know about you guys, but like when I start getting close to that edge, it's like that's where I guess because I've been kicked off like so many times, and it just sucks. Like hitting the floor or falling or having to do an acrobatic circus move, it like takes energy. So the energy to walk back up the stage is I'm just like, oh God, please. Like,
I will never forget my first year fighting in Chicago. I was fighting Alexa, and something happened, and I almost pushed her off the stage, not realizing she was like bent over,
yeah,
and I had to catch her so I didn't like
it's just
kick her off.
yeah, it's just scary like that. Actually, it's funny you say that, and that my first year, I was fighting in the welterweight grand, and I think James like kicked or like kicked my shoulder or blitz, and I almost like rolled off the stage. Like they had to like hold me, and it just I was like, and just like that motion of hitting the floor, it takes energy out to get up to keep. It's just I was like, oh, that like there's no need for all that. It just made it worse. So that's what I wanted to know. So they had him off in the corner. I saw on the live stream, I saw 26, 28. I was able to see the fights.
Hmm.
It looked like for men's, it was between 2 rings. It wasn't even just 1 ring.
Because
I
there's
could be
always so
wrong.
many of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I saw that because I think because I'm gonna be honest. So they split the bracket. I think they put 1 ring had one bracket, another ring had another
They ended
bracket
up
for
they ended up
men's.
putting it in the ring where the women were doing their divisions because they had to split it. So
Oh, you see,
we had finished, and then I think they moved them.
I wish I would have known that. So okay, so there's a lot of stuff I missed out on, so I need to go back and watch. Because I only saw that, and they just kept it looked like they just kept saying, okay, so and so is gonna fight so and so, and then you physically see them take the camera and move it over to 26. So I was like, oh man, what happened? Like, what's going on? I'm not lying. I was sitting there, I was like, okay, so where did the other half of these guys get there? Like, how did this work out? Like, I don't know. So that's interesting. I think it. it's tough. You know, I gotta give sport martial arts their credit because it's tough trying to pick the divisions that everyone's gonna go and see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they try to have cameras at almost all like the main divisions. One thing I didn't see, now people can correct me on this. Maybe it's there and I just didn't see it, but I didn't see like the senior team fights that day on Friday. I didn't see senior team fights. There was no stream for it. And I didn't really see any, or I think I barely saw the streams for um, the 30 plus fighting in the morning. I didn't really see anything. I think I caught I caught like glimpses of stuff, but it wasn't 30 plus. I think it could have been 40 plus or
Mm-hmm.
anywhere around there. So like I actually never really saw any senior fighting divisions. All I saw was senior forums, and that was it. So and I know it's tough. They're just trying to, you know, they're trying to pick the right divisions. They're trying to pick it. Who knows if they have the cameras? They're trying to run around. Um, but I think this is something that we've noticed. At least I've been hearing, because I haven't been to a tournament since Battle of Atlanta. So I've been hearing a lot of competitors say that they're starting to get the fighting divisions pushed off in the corners. I know that
Mm-hmm.
was I know that was an issue at Diamonds last year. I think that there was like no streams for the men. It was in like a whole nother room, and
Yeah.
no streams for the women either. Because I don't think I ever saw any women fights at Diamonds last year. So it's something I'm hearing about. I think it just always is going to come down to the layout, like the layout of the venue. I think it always
Yeah.
comes down to that. So so that's something. Were there any fights that were memorable, whether you were in them, watched them, any of them that just looked like really good, like, or just fights you were like, man, like it was close, nail biters?
You know, I think this weekend, I from just watching because I watched the women's division because I have to
Yeah,
fight some of those girls, but all of the matches were fairly close.
crazy,
From
right?
what I remember, like all of them were fairly
Crazy.
close. And whether it be one person gets 2 points, the other person gets three, and then the other person gets another point, and then they tie, or if it goes into sudden death. But from what I remember, all of the fights were super close. And I love when they're like that because it's really anybody's game at that point.
Yeah, it's
And those are the most exciting fights to watch.
there's nothing better. And this is like from me when I watch on the streams, and I'm sure you probably get the same feeling when you watch
Hmm.
the streams when the crowd goes crazy and you're like
Oh yeah,
looking at your phone, looking at the TV, like, oh my god, like you start thinking you're in the fight, you start beating fast. You're like, man, what's gonna happen? How is this gonna go? That's something I always thought was crazy. So that's something I saw a lot in the women's division. Was just I'm saying points go back and forth. I mean I gotta give it, man. Like some of the women fights this weekend were some of my favorite fights to watch.
they were
Just
all
because,
like,
and I always said this, just because of how technical they are. I
hmm
mean, and this is nothing. It's not saying that women don't have the athleticism. They're using their athleticism, but they're using their brain at the same time. And that's why I always give like you and all the female fighters credit because you guys are like putting such high fight IQ when you guys are fighting. And that's where like
yeah,
it becomes anyone's game because you guys are using your speed, your strength, whatever you're good at, and then you're adding high fight IQ. You know, I used to always hear this whenever martial arts in a network used to commentate on the VFTs that was inside the cage. They used to always make the joke of like the men just run straight in like bulls, and the females will actually use footwork and move around, and they're using more
that's
strategy.
so
But
funny.
yeah, I mean, I was one of those guys. I can't really talk much, so it's a small cage, and if I'm tall, I'm gonna try to use my length. So that was always my go-to. So, but yeah, I thought some of those fights. I know looking at the fights from the outside, so like just watching the stream, a lot of the open weight fights were really good. A lot
Yeah,
of the
that
open
was
weight fights were good.
the main thing because all of those open weight fights were super close. I didn't really
Yes.
get to see I got to watch the super light women, but I didn't get to see the light because they moved the last two women divisions to different rings
Yeah,
to
you
get
guys were
them
at
going.
20. You guys were at 28, right, or something like that.
Yeah, we got moved to 28.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie to you. Out of nowhere, I just saw you fighting Mina, and I saw like the whole division, and I was like, man, what happened? Like, Did someone win or like what? Like how do they just get moved over? Like what's going on
They
here?
literally like we were. I think the super light division had just finished, and then they were starting the light, and then they were like announcing, "Oh, 140 to 149, light middle move to ring 28," and I was like, why? Why? Because it ended up taking the same amount of time.
Yeah,
There was no difference.
it's
No difference.
it's interesting. You know, I saw in the men's divisions fights, there's a lot of 1 point matches. A lot of 1 point matches. There was some upsets. And just overall, just good fights, man. Like I got to see a lot of the men's matches. It on the only thing I didn't like, and I guess like my only gripe really about like the tournament for it comes to fighting was just I didn't see none of the lightweight stuff. I didn't see super light. I didn't see lightweight. I didn't see light welter or welterweight, which more or less like for me, I really want to see those because that's more like my bracket. That's really where I'm fighting at. But I didn't see none of them. I saw everything from light middle on up. So I never saw none of the overall fights.
They did the overall fights in ring 28 before when they moved us. That's why it took the same amount of time.
That's okay. So that's crazy. So this is Peyton, you're giving me more stuff. This is why it's called the extra scoop because I just obviously things I don't know. So here it goes. That's crazy. Okay, so now when you saw the fighting, right? Did you first off, let me ask you, how were the mats? I just want to ask you that part.
Slippery.
Okay, so I've seen that in all the fights. Now
Slippery.
let me ask you your psyche when you're going into that, right? And for like the younger viewers out there, this is just like a little way of how to get over these obstacles, right? So like when you know it's a slippery mat, is there anything you're telling yourself? Is there anything you're like trying to mentally prepare for as you're in there?
So given that I have two different sets of foot gear. I have the Sentry that has the cover on the bottom, and I have the Sentry that has the regular like strap. So
Peyton, this is why.
Strap.
Peyton, this is
then
why.
my feet don't slip.
Peyton, this is exactly why you and I used to always lock in. Because I swore we were the only people that thought like when people used to see me roll in with 2 pairs of foot gear and they saw that I would the Sentry with the full boot, I cut it so my balls on my feet could be out. And then I had one where it was like the normal Sentry foam dip gear. And they're like, why did you do that? And I told them, I was like, if one's slippery, I use this pair. If it's not, I go with this one. And everyone thought I was crazy. Thank you so much. Like
that and then hairspray. If you have it like on hand.
Hey, so let me ask you, does that really work? I tried that once and this never worked for me.
You have to do it like right before you fight because if you don't and you spray your feet, say like you spray your feet and then you walk around, the dirt will get stuck to that and you'll just be back to the slipperiness. Okay, so you have to do it right before you fight and then like kind of dab it off a little bit and then it'll make your foot sticky. Because I used to do that even as a junior.
Got you. Oh man, look at that. There's some cheating right there for you guys.
Because I will never forget. When was that? I went to go take off on somebody and my foot went the opposite direction because I slipped.
Hey, listen, you know what? That actually happened to me both years I went. I took off on a blitz and I face planted. And actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the last time I did it, I said
maple syrup is
maple
crazy.
syrup. Okay, Chris. Hey, Chris. That's what the Canadians do because that's where the syrup is really good over there. It works.
Syrup.
Maple syrup. Hey, listen. Hey, you know what? We say ill, but if it holds your ground, take it, right? Listen, I'll tell you, I face planted one year. I think it was last year, and I'm not gonna lie to you. They're like, Angel, are you okay? And my only response, I said it to Edgar. I was like, I hope that's not on live stream. That's all I said. I was like, I hope that's not on live stream because I know that's gonna get played back. Like, I don't need that. I know for me, whenever I used to fight on slippery mats, I just try to tell myself like, hey, I know he's slipping over there also, so it's gonna be. I know we're gonna have to either be super close, and if we're super far, no one's in a blitz. So I used to never really worry in that sense. So that was something I used to always tell myself.
Hit or miss when it comes to the tournaments. AKA has slippery mats. Battle usually has slippery mats.
Battle, really? I never slipped at battle.
Because y'all are always inside.
I was about to say, and the outside. I hear the outside is crazy. It's I heard slippery. The outside. Listen, I talked to Jaden and Brianna last time. Because I don't know if I got there late or if I said something, like I got up there a little bit later. So she fought, I think, in mixed doubles. And I was like, how was it? She's like, I was like ice skating. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, the mats are slippery. And I was like, stop playing. Like the mats are fine. And she's like, the ones outside. And I was like, those are not. I remember I went and I put my hand. I said, God damn, what are these people doing out here? Like, this is crazy. The inside mats are great. The inside mats are great.
Good for you. You're always on the inside.
Hey, listen. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Ring stars, people. If you need to bring them back, because it's not. You may not feel comfortable kicking, but when you want to take an angle and take off, it's like driving a car. You can turn and go. So, hey, I'll give you that one. So, all right. So the fighting was. I thought the fighting was really good. It was really high level over there. So I had a good idea. Big surprises.
The biggest surprise for me was when they said that the Warrior Cup was 2 2-minute rounds. Because last year it was only 1 2-minute round and you had to win by 1. This year it was 2 2-minute rounds and you had to win by 2, I think.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Stop. All right, hold up. You had to win by 2?
I don't remember if it was 1 by 2 or 1 by 1, but I know it was 2 2-minute rounds versus last year was only 1.
I'm not gonna go into it, but I have a real gripe of 1 by 2. I don't like it. It's like I think 1 by 1 is what it should be. Now, I did notice that. Hey, wait a minute. So last year, now I'm just drawing a blank. When Morgan and Katarina fought, it was 1 round?
1 round.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Why did I think it was 2?
Nope, it was 1 round, and Katarina ended up getting to the last point, and then the time was up.
Actually, I think I do remember she got that last point.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was 1 round.
Well, at least now it's equal. So, I think a big surprise for me, I'll say this. A big surprise for me, and this person knows why I'm going to say this. A big surprise for me was Bailey winning the Warrior Cup. And my only reason for saying that is because I was texting Bailey before, and we had a conversation, and I know he was going through some stuff with his teeth, so he was thinking about not competing.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a conversation, and then he competed, and so that was like a big surprise for me. Another surprise for me, man. I want to give the flowers out there to Mason Stowell, to Jake Presley, to Kevin Kowalczyk, and Jeff. Those are like some of like my favorite performances of the night.
Haley Glass, honestly. What do you mean?
Haley, can you just let me go? All right, you're a homer. You're gonna be a homer. Actually, no. So Haley, I saw Haley's traditional sword. Haley's traditional sword is crazy.
Yeah.
Great. And this is the thing, is that Haley's traditional sword form is so good. And when she's in the grands, she usually goes with her open or extreme form.
Yeah.
But her traditional form, I think, is just as strong and can compete with her other two. I think they can compete with their other two.
Oh, 100%. She's well-rounded. And don't let her
without a doubt.
That girl can fight.
No, you know what? Hey, listen, shout out to Haley, because she's been doing a lot of these fighting seminars. You think I don't see with Alex and all them? She's out there fighting. She was fighting in Texas. She over there. I saw a video. Maybe it was just like the way when the guy did a live stream, caught it right when Haley kicked someone hard, and even I was like, "Oh God damn, I know that hurt." Like the person took a minute. I was like, "Oh God damn, I know that hurt, man." I don't know who it was, but I was like, "Oh, I know that hurt, man."
I always tell her, I'm like, "You need to come back."
Oh, listen, for sure. You know what? I think she'll do it. I think she'll do it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually think like she'll win her division. I think she'll go. I think she'll go all the way. Like I really do think that.
Haley fighting, that would be a big surprise. I want to see it happen though. I want to see it happen.
Let's put it out there, like Haley. Like, come on. Like it's 2024, new you, new year, new you. Let's just try something, even if it's one time. Try something one time. Like
exactly.
Who knows? Let's just see where it goes. Another big surprise for me was also I love seeing Alex on stage. I love seeing Alex Mancias on stage fighting for that Warrior Cup. Just gotta give him his flowers, man. That dude, he's being consistent. Like he's had a really consistent year, and he had a consistent 2023, and that was just trickling over into 2024. So
yeah, he's another super well-rounded person between weapons, forms, and fighting.
Awesome. Yeah. Without a doubt. I'll never forget the first day I saw Alex do his combo form. I'm not even like lying when I say this. I'm not, because we were in Texas, and Alex knows what tournament it was. So we were there, and I'll never forget. I saw him do his form, and I literally go, Yeah, I can see why you're on JPM. That's exactly what I said. I was like I literally saw him, and I literally go, I was like, so that's the difference. I can see it. Like it's without a doubt. Yeah, I can see this one. That makes perfect sense. So yeah, no, that was a big surprise. Kevin Walker fighting 30 plus. That threw me off.
Oh,
That threw me off. Right? That threw me off. You know
that's
what's
funny.
you know what's interesting too is we actually have a lot of, I think, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I think we have a good amount of people that fight down.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're actually in their 30s, but they're fighting down the 18 and 29s, and they're still holding their own.
Morgan used to do that.
Bro. And that, well, Morgan's timeless, bro. I don't even know what to say about that. Like that, like she had a fountain of youth. Like she never, yeah, and you never saw Morgan's abilities ever slow down.
Nope.
And she just, if anything, it was almost like a cheat code, man. She got smarter and then kept the same ability. So it was just getting harder. If you thought, even if you scored, I remember at one point, if someone scored a point, we're like, oh my God, like a point. It's crazy. So yeah, that was a big surprise.
I fought her my first adult division at US Open like 2 years ago. And I was like, what?
Yo, listen. That's how I felt when I fought my first time fighting adults. I fought Ross for a grand.
Dang.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I mean, there's no straight. Like, I got my ass whooped like bad. Like, I got my behind tore up. But like after that, I'll never forget. I was just like, man, of all the tournaments I picked, like this is the one you chose to go to. Like, man, this was a tough one. And I thought I was feeling good. I was like, all right, I'm in the final. And when I saw Ross get there, I was like, oh God, all right, well, I ate a sidekick. That was not fun.
Oh, I bet that felt great.
Oh, I never I still say it, man. Probably one of the hardest sidekicks I've ever taken. It's been like 2 or 3 that I've taken. I've been like, yeah, like those hurt. Because I always say, like, there's some that hit me and I'm like, all right, that was a stinger. Like, it was like, it stung, but it wasn't going to kill me. But there's some that I've taken and I'm like, yeah, that like, after the fight's over, I'm like, yeah, someone's got to give me a minute, man. Like, I just need to breathe for a second. Because that, like, I'm not going to show it in the fight, but man, after, yeah, that one hurt. Like, that one hurt. So that was a big surprise. Any other surprises you could think of?
I don't think so.
Again, like you would know better than me. You were there in the building. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any other ones right off the top of my head. Oh. No. Surprise. Enrique Latona on Diamond.
Oh!
Surprise. Can we just dissect that really quickly? All right, now Peyton, you're in Florida. Give me the insider info. Go.
On what? Enrique?
You know everything.
I didn't know that was happening. I found
Peyton.
out
P.
the Thursday before.
P. Come on, P. Come on.
No, I found out like the Thursday before.
P.
Besides
Come
this,
on.
I also found out that Bailey moved to Florida. I didn't know that either.
Okay, well, yeah, that part I knew just because that's my boy. But
no, I didn't know Enrique was gonna be on Diamond.
All right, so it's tough for, like, I don't know if you would know this, so I'm just gonna ask the question. If you don't, at least just give me like your opinion on it. Like, right, what was like when everyone saw that? Was everyone like, oh, like, was it a little unsettling? Did you ever see that from anybody? Again, if you were fighting at that time, I'm sure you probably wouldn't know, but
I don't think so.
Like, was it a surprise to anyone, or was everyone like, oh, that makes sense?
It was because when I found out, I was with my dad, so like I was like, oh, like look, like Enrique's on G3. So we were surprised about it, but like at the tournament, it just took a minute to adjust to the fact that he wasn't wearing a top 10 uniform.
Yeah, I got you.
And then I had to, because when I saw videos, I was like, oh wait, that's Enrique. Like I have to adjust to the fact that he's not in top 10 anymore.
Listen, man, that's now I'm thinking about it. I completely forgot. That was a big surprise.
That was a big surprise. That was a good pickup.
You know what?
Too.
Going off of that, that's a big surprise. There were some other pickups. We forgot one of them. I literally have her name in my mind, and I blank right now, right when I'm about to say it.
Katie.
Thank you, Katie. I was literally like, I was just about to say her name, and it shot right out my mind. Like I literally was about to say her name. Yes, Katie. There we go. So Katie getting picked up. I mean, that just makes it even more of a stronger traditional side, and you know she does. I mean, Katie really does everything, almost every division.
Oh yeah,
She does almost every division,
creative.
And if not, she's like placing first or second in almost every single division. Like
Yeah.
she's a super consistent and super solid in what she does. So like I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever I see Katie compete, I feel old. I'm gonna be completely honest. And I told her that last time because I remember seeing Katie compete when she was like 12 or 13. So like that was something that I just now I feel kind of old now every time I see her. So big props up to Revolution. You know, Team Revolution picked her up. That was a surprise for me. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I saw it, and then first thing I did was, I was like, man, like, like me, literally, I was like, what is happening? Like, is everyone coming out at this tournament? Like, can we there should be like in December, you should be like, you should have to be forced to like say your pickups. Like, I need to know these things because now I'm like trying to rush to find these streams because I want to see everyone in like their new uniform or just see them in like their new like team. So that was another big surprise for me. Oh, shouts out to Marty Eubanks. I'm gonna say that. Shouts out to Marty Eubanks. That was a big surprise for me. Marty Eubanks won the 50 and over overall grand. And Marty Eubanks, you know, he's a legend in the sport. I mean, fought Nasty, fought Anthony Price, Kevin Thompson, everybody. I mean, he's beating a who's who, and him still getting out there in the over and 50 and looking good. Man, shouts out to him. Like that was really good to watch him out there. So that was something I definitely want to put out there.
I have one last topic.
Go ahead.
That is gonna probably cause some controversy, but
oh boy.
So it's about the Warrior Cup.
Oh boy.
About the Warrior Cup. This goes in with like the memorable moments of like the finals and stuff. Because, okay, why are the men and women together for the Warrior Cup?
All right, hold on, because you're not gonna set me up, and I'm not about to get trashed. And this isn't even my regular programming. It's not. I'm not gonna make an argument. All I'm gonna give is I can understand a view. Yeah. Like I can just understand a viewpoint, right? Kind of just making it, I guess, but no, because then they give a women's overall cup, which is separate. So then. Like if you give a women's fighting overall cup, that's separate. What I was gonna say was, you know, just to see like all the winners and see who is like the best, like regardless of age and gender, like you just go right. But then now I'm like, yeah, but then you have like a women's sparring overall final, and they have their own cup. So like then now I'm like
that, but like no doubt in my mind, Haley Glass could beat all of them. However, when it comes to like men and women, genetically, they have more of a like athleticism. So, my opinion, it should be split. But I'm not a tournament coordinator. I'm not a promoter. That's just my opinion.
Well, Peyton, I've been saying this for the longest time, and I don't know why. It still hasn't happened yet, but you and your dad need to throw a tournament. I've been saying this since before this show. I've been saying this since we were teammates. Like you guys need to throw a tournament because the funny thing was you and I would have these discussions before, and we would just go back and forth. So I'm like, you guys really need to throw a tournament. So I don't know, man. Like, let me ask you. Okay, so I understand what you're saying, and I agree, right? Do you think from a competitive standpoint, the females want to go against the guys to prove a point?
You know, like from a competitive standpoint, yeah, I think so. But like from a fairness standpoint, to me, it's not fair. I think it should be split, and it's just one of those things where is it ever going to happen? I don't know. But
we can't say it's never going to happen. I wouldn't even say it never is going to happen because now we've split the whole women's grand, which I think is awesome. I want to say that up front. Like, I used to so like for Martial Arts in the Network, I do the stat tracking, right? And I think I did it for 2022. We started in 2022, I think. So like either 2022 or 2021. And I used to always, every time I did it, I used to be like, how come the men's have the CMX weapons and forms and then traditional weapons and forms. But for females, it's just forms and it's just weapons. I used to always wonder that. But then I was like, me personally, I was like, I'm not trying to get, blackballed out here. So I was like,
Yeah.
let me just keep my mouth shut. I don't want to say nothing. But I did always wonder that. So it changed this year. This is the first tournament where that changed.
Finally.
So I think, man, Peyton, you're Peyton, you're making me sweat over here. So I think you push it. You're stepping on the line, girl. I got you. Hey, listen. You know what though? I mean, you talk about it enough. Why can't it change?
Exactly.
I mean, you talk about it enough. Why can't it change? I mean, we've seen other changes, right? I will always say this one change we have never seen is this 2-point body kick. So I think we've all given up on that at this point. But I mean, at one point they didn't have open weight, and that got put in now. I mean, that's like something that got changed. I mean, I think it could be changed. Do you think if they do that, right? I saw someone say they agree. Whoever said that, I agree with them too. I don't know who it was.
It was Amanda's dad.
Oh, I agree with you, sir. Do you think if they do that, right? Now, again, I'm just being the devil's advocate here. This is not my viewpoint, people, so don't burn me on this one. All I'm saying is, do you think if they do that, do you think people with to the viewers, to the people that know about the Warrior Cup, does it not degrade, because that's not the word I want to use, but does it lessen the legacy or like the prestige? There you go. Does it like take away from the prestige of the Warrior Cup if now they separate it like that, as opposed to back in the day when it was just one winner? Do you think it takes away from the prestige?
I don't know, because things change over time. Things adapt to like what people want to see. So if people really want to see a women's Warrior Cup like only, then by some odd chance it may happen, because things develop, things change to what people want to see.
Now we do that. Do we have to do the same thing for juniors?
That's another question.
Right? Because so now I'm thinking about now, right? Because as we're talking about like most memorable moments of the finals and the tournament, now I'm thinking, how does that affect the night show? Because like this is no knock on AKA. This is just because of what they offer. I think it is like the longest night show in terms of like the duration of it. It's like the longest night show. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm just saying it like I just know like I'm there longer at that night show than almost any other night show I've ever been at. But also the other thing is though, we're getting like 7 or 8 extra divisions on stage as opposed to what it normally is, because they have to take the winners.
I know what they ended up doing was they ran a lot of the like grands fights or the grands forms before the show. So say they split the juniors and they split the men and women, and then the fighting is already split. So then I feel like it would just be a strictly Warrior Cup show. Like if they ran everything before.
I see what you're saying. So now make it where every division that's on stage is only for the Warrior Cup. It is not for an overall and then for a Warrior Cup.
No, it's for the Warrior Cup. You're either there for the Warrior Cup or you're not. Like one of the.
I got you. Well, then you know what? I guess then it wouldn't really affect the night show. It'd probably be that's what they did. Wait.
Amber was saying that's what they did, because they did split. They did like do it to where it was strictly Warrior Cup, but there were some still like divisions where you had to win to get to the Warrior Cup round.
Okay. Well, yeah. So like I heard that they ran off a lot of divisions. So like a lot of like the overalls, like they tried to get them done earlier. So yeah, I guess now it's just, I mean, you know what? That's a good idea. But I've always said that, like, I don't know. Do you think, you see, because I just keep having these questions now that we're going, like, it's just making me wonder, like, would that get people upset? Because like everyone's, always aims to be on the night show. Does that take it away? That takes away more people's chances of being on a night show. Now, if I'm saying that, I will also say this. That's also, that's kind of like that everyone gets a trophy mentality, if I'm being honest. So like, I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying I know parents may, or, parents overall, they may not like that idea because it takes away spots. Because you figure if you have like 4 kids on stage, then you only have like 4 kids for one overall. Now you only have 4 kids to go for just a Warrior Cup as opposed to what it would be. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know how
Hmm.
parents would feel about that, but I actually do like the idea. Now it just becomes you split the junior girls and junior boys. Which I mean,
Yeah.
you could still have a Warrior Cup finals because it actually still not that many divisions. You can still do it.
No, it would be two for the juniors, two for the women, two for the men, and then fighting. So it's 8.
That's still not bad
It's
for a nighttime show. So people, I don't know where Peyton is right now, but there she goes. Oh, thank God. I literally, I'm sorry, everyone on live. I forgot I was on live. My jaw dropped. I was like, what's going on? Hey, listen, but I mean,
You're
that's
supposed to be
really not
better
that
than that,
bad.
Angel. You're supposed to be able
I,
to
I'm
jump
gonna
in
be
here
honest.
and start talking.
I'm gonna be honest, Trav. That was my fault. I'm lacking. I've been doing this too long. I should have never done that. That was my fault. Everyone, there was some dead space. That was my fault. I'm gonna be honest. That threw me off.
Oops.
But yeah,
Oops.
nah. I mean, I guess thanks, Peyton. You always find a way to get me in trouble, no matter what we do.
Me?
You always just never, regardless of what period it is, what we're doing. You always find a way to get me in trouble.
I didn't even do
I mean,
anything.
I guess yeah, I guess I wouldn't be a bad most memorable moments of the finals and the tournament. Now I'm trying to think. Bring it back.
Bailey
Well,
winning the Warrior Cup.
Bailey winning his
Rip.
first. That was a huge one, right?
Hmm.
I think it was actually pretty cool to see Katarina go back to back.
Definitely.
So she was able to go back to back, which I
Hmm.
thought was actually pretty cool. Um, Jake Presley, he got his 7th.
Yep.
Yep.
Salif.
So
Yeah.
oh yes. Listen, you know what, man? I always loved watching his forms. Always loved it because I think he incorporates so many different martial arts. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for giving us that because that was that. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Hey, you know what I noticed on stage this year? They're giving out a lot more 10s.
I saw one.
You saw one? I thought I saw 2. Mason, I thought Mason had a 10. I could be wrong.
Mason
Don't
had a
quote me on it.
10.
And didn't Salif have a 10 also? I think don't quote me on it. I could have sworn. Well, you know what? Let me stop. I saw in the like when I was doing the stat tracking sheet, I saw they were giving out like they had the scores. People had
Uh-huh.
10s. People had 10s. I was looking. I was like, I didn't know we could. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought a 10 was impossible. So I was like, oh okay. Like people getting 10s out here. This is crazy. So
I don't know. I remember seeing Mason's 10 and like the room, the crowd was like, what? Like everyone was going crazy, but
a 10 is like almost impossible. At least in my mind. I'm not gonna say it isn't, but I've never really seen them.
hmm
Well, so that's why I'm just like, maybe next year we could see Peyton Fender do her traditional sword on stage. I don't know. We're gonna put out Haley out there to fight. I guess Peyton might as well just do
don't
a
get my
traditional.
father started.
No, I'm just saying if we can't. Now
No.
that I'm thinking about it, best memorable moments. That would be a great memorable moment for me to come back with next year. If we're gonna
No.
put out Haley out there, we gotta put you out there.
No.
If we're gonna put Haley out there, you gotta. You know what sucks, Peyton, is that your sword form is actually really good. So I don't see why. I love that you always do demo at Pan Am's, but give me one sword division, just one.
No, y'all get me for demo. You can see the forms in demo. It's
No,
gonna stay in demo.
no one. Just yeah. Oh, say pie,
No.
say pie. Bring it back. I like it. Thank you, Carolina. Yes, please. I try to convince. Oh man, everyone's getting on this. Peyton, what's going on here? Is
Do you
everyone
see
been
where
trying
you
to?
started? You see
I'm
where you
just
started.
saying. I'm just saying though, like you really have, you really have a really good sword form, and you won't do it. You won't. You gotta pop out. You gotta pop out.
We'll see, because I have to make a new sword form. I don't remember my old sword form.
Peyton, I'm just putting this out there for the people that heard that. Let me just
See?
make sure
Now
you
you got my
guys.
dad.
Hey, Pops, I miss you, man. I miss you. I really do. We gotta talk. Listen, I'm just saying, you go to your school. What's the name of your school? Why don't you just say it for me, just so I could make sure I hear
Florida
about this?
Sports Martial Arts. Florida
And
Sports Martial Arts.
who is the head instructor? You would say
What do you mean? Like right now?
right now, yeah. You?
Yes.
And who's one of like the biggest names to come out of the school? We have Haley Glass. We have someone else.
Haley Glass.
And you're telling me we can't put together a sword form?
No, not that we can't, because I put together a bow form for one of my students, and
So
she took second for her first time in black belt.
So what are we doing? So you have the knowledge. So you have the knowledge. Just go out there. You have the knowledge. You literally Tony, thank you. Yo, I'm gonna get all of Florida on you. Literally. So you have the knowledge. You have the knowledge. You just don't want to get out there and do it. It's 2024, P. It's 2024, P. Come on. At least you gotta do something. Come on.
I gotta do something. I'm in school. I graduate this year.
Oh, congratulations. So after May, it's free range. So you got battle.
Miss Tamika, not you. No. She said I could do it. No.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Cloud. Thank you. Oh, there you go. She made my son sword. Peyton, honestly, Peyton, everyone's chiming in. So, what if you had to pick a tournament? If you had to pick a tournament, what tournament would it be that you would come back at for just one tournament? It's fine. Listen, she's gonna let us know. Peyton is a triple threat. She is. There's no way she's not a triple threat. One tournament.
Either Battle or Pan Am's, because Pan Am's is hometown or home state, and Battle is like my favorite tournament. U.S. Open.
Man, we are everyone. I like how everyone's engagement. Please, guys, keep this up. U.S. Open. Oh, U.S. Open.
Okay.
Wait. So let me get this straight.
That's 2 for U.S. Open.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. You would do Pan Am's, but not U.S. Open. But U.S. Open is like your home tournament, isn't it?
U.S. Open is a home tournament, but there's too many people at U.S. Open.
But so what does that matter? That don't make a difference. That don't make a difference. All right. So U.S. Open or Pan Am's. That's what we're shooting for, people. Please,
okay, that's what we're shooting for?
Oh, yes.
That's what yeah. For. This is a we thing now.
Yeah, absolutely. I brought this up. Listen, if you want, I will bring my form out. I'll do a forms at the tournament also, just because U.S. Open. Thank you. All right, so U.S. Open's the vote. That's done and over with. So P, U.S. Open. I'm gonna be there. I should see you with your Hakamon. Should see you with your white gi top. I'll see that ponytail I used to always see you rock, and you're gonna kill it. So it sounds like it. U.S. Open. Here we go.
I love all of you guys.
No, P, stop.
Right now.
No. There we go. So U.S. Open. Any
that's where we should end, because I am not trying to deal with this no more.
I was just about to say, is there anything is there anything you want to end with? Any comments? Anything you want to talk about before we head out?
We'll see on the form. That's what I'm.
No. Stop. Everybody, she's gonna do it. I'll keep talking to her about it. We'll see what we can get.
Oh my god.
You know what? I'll talk to your friend. I'll talk to the friend that we both know, and I'll have them convince you. So that way we can do that. And then make sure you guys all check out Martial Arts Center Network. Just so that way you guys can see all of our platforms, whether it's Inside Scoop, Fix, Kiss, and Flicks, the traditional way with Brush Shumway, or you got to catch Peyton's Extra Scoop. Make sure you guys check us out. We're going to have some big things coming up this year. So that's
a lot of you guys' forms and fights are on the Martial Arts Network page. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So we got the forms and fighting on there. You guys will also if you guys go to the events, it will show it. Also, we got the player profiles. We got all your wins, got your accomplishments, videos that link up to it. And we got the ratings. So make sure you guys check that out also. Got the ratings and rankings on there. So any last remarks, P?
I don't think so.
No? All right. So
nope.
That's pretty much it from Peyton's Extra Scoop. I'm Angel Diaz. Peyton Fender.
And
And we'll see y'all. Catch y'all.